Good morning and welcome back to Spurs Latest. I am your host, Trip Graham. So happy to have you here. There's so much to get into about our Spurs, what's going around the NBA, a little this and that, a little week preview for what's coming up on the Spurs horizon. And tonight, big game tonight versus Pistons. Let's keep up the momentum. 7-game winning streak. We're going to keep it alive tonight versus the Pistons and Cade Cunningham, a clear top 5 MVP favorite for this year. So let's get it started. First, absolutely, we're going to recap our Spurs versus Kings. This weekend, the Spurs beat the Kings 139-122, an absolute walloping from the Spurs on this game. The Spurs just handed to them right off the bat, and I have a few things that I want to get off my chest about this game. So first, overall, the Spurs are just dominant in the paint when they want to be. Luke Cornett and Victor are just absolute tears in the paint, and the Kings don't have anybody to defend him. By having Sabonis and Levine out for the season, the Kings are done. They're going to be finishing last in the West, and they're hopefully going to get that number 1 overall pick. But there are things on the horizon for the Kings. The NBA is done with this tanking, and it's very clear that there's going to be changes made very soon to how the NBA handles tanking. The old ways of you shut down at All-Star break like they're doing is absolutely over, and the Kings absolutely are the example of what not to do of how to build an NBA franchise. I am very happy to see Russell Westbrook playing one of his last seasons, still in the league, still contributing, but it's so sad to see him on a Kings team that just cannot get out of their own way. And it is management. They've only had one playoff appearance in the last over 20 years. One of the most unsuccessful franchises out there. So what needs to change? The NBA needs to figure out something on this tanking where it decentralizes these teams to lose. And one of the biggest things that I have been thinking about that, which I heard from Charles Barkley this weekend, was literally reducing ticket sales and forcing teams to reduce ticket sales if they are not willing to comply by NBA standards. No way should a Victor Wembanyama game or a LeBron James game cost as much as a Kings game when they just stink. I don't care if it's what city you're in, if the prices in that city are too high and they have to pay. Well, you should have a better team, and these owners need to be better for their players. I am so done with the owners not caring, management just getting to do whatever they want, and just looking for their next job. Do you think the Kings management has any idea if they want to be like, hey, we're going to build this franchise and to be winners? No, once those coaches get a good job, they're hightailing their ass out of there, and rightfully so. These are not how contending teams should play. And this last night, Spurs versus Kings was the absolute reason for that. Victor Wembanyama literally could have gone for a quadruple triple. I mean, he was just killing them in every category. I believe that he could have had 60 points in that game if he wanted to. If he wanted to, he could have had 60 points, another 30 rebounds in that game. It's just the dominance on the court that we are having with Victor is just amazing. Going through to doing windmill dunks in the middle of a game the week after everyone complained about the dunk contest is definitely a statement, and he's doing that on a tanking Kings team. This is just what we want for the NBA, and everybody around the NBA is finally looking to the Spurs as, hey, they're the cool guys in the locker room. They are the shit. They are the ones that we should be looking up to for how to develop young players at this point of their careers to get the most out of them and push them to their potential. Victor is just the absolute catalyst of our Spurs right now, doing that in every single facet. And I'm just seeing so many things. He is making so many things about the NBA fun again, just like the dunk contest. Now that we have the idea that Victor Wembanyama can be in a dunk contest, let's get more people into it. Let's get stars actually participating in the dunk contest and not just say, oh, I might do that one day. Let's actually get some stars participating in the dunk contest. I would love to see Victor in it next year and get a few other stars. Definitely. And Mac McClung, come back into the dunk contest. You're too good to not be in the dunk contest, so let's see it. All right. Some other thoughts about this game is especially with Wemby, is if he plays a full season like this, he will be MVP for years to come. and everyone knows it. Obviously, this is not this year he's going to win MVP. There's too much talent right now at high levels. You couldn't argue that he wouldn't be the MVP because he is. He is the most valuable player in the NBA, I believe. He is definitely the most valuable of who you would want to start your franchise with. It's Victor Wembanyama, one of one. And maybe, I don't know, who would you guys go for number 2? Who would you want to start your franchise with if you were an NBA GM? I mean, Wemby is my clear one of one. If we're going really young and talking about young players of who you want to start your franchise, it's obviously Victor 101. Other players that really come to mind really quickly, it's obviously Cooper Flag. He wouldn't be another top star young player you want to start your team with. But then you go into that next level of like more developed in the league. They've had over 7 seasons, and other players, Cade Cunningham, not in that echelon, but other players that I would say like 7 years or more that would want to start in the NBA. Let's say, Jaylen Brown, obviously, Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, and then Shea. But Shea, that's the thing. Shea needs a good team around him. I would not put Shea in my top 5 of who I would want to start a franchise with. Just really thinking about that now. But yeah, I would put some other stars over him. Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, and then also Cade Cunningham. There's just so many stars in this league right now. So I did get a chance to watch some of last night was versus Boston versus the Lakers. And I wanted to give you my thoughts about some other interleague play. Watching East versus West Coast team play is always fun. And what also is fun about this is one of the most historic franchises there. So last night I did get to watch LeBron and Luka versus the Celtics. And mainly want to give my thoughts about the Lakers as, they're 5th in the West right now. They're trailing quite behind us, and I saw why, just from watching a full game of them play. The Lakers are a bunch of crybabies. Let me just say that very clear. Luka Doncic just gets out there. His talent is so effortless. I mean, I was just thinking, one of the biggest things I thought about that game is he can move so slow with the ball and just make whatever defender is on him move at that pace. And it annoys the crap out of the defenders. They don't know what to do with his slow. And then it seems like his normal jump shot is that fadeaway jump shot. So no matter what, he's always creating that extra foot of space between him and the defender of getting that extra foot to get that shot off. So it doesn't even matter if the defender is taller than him, he will always have that leverage getting that foot on his defender. And he almost lulls you to sleep right before he takes the shot. One of my favorite players to watch in the league. Just unbelievable. But they are crybabies. I mean, a team of Marcus Smart, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James, between those three, I mean, it is unbelievable how many times LeBron James, I've seen him in his career, and, as he's getting older, he's doing it even more. I've literally stopped playing basketball on the defensive end because he didn't get an offensive call to not run back on defense. I know he's LeBron, he gets all the leeway he wants, but that would drive me bonkers if I was coach, no matter the player. He was unhappy about a goaltending call last night I saw. Clear goaltending by Nima Kaida on the Celtics. But the problem is, it went to a transition basket on the other end right away. LeBron stops in his tracks, doesn't even look at the ball going down the court, but looks for the ref. And it was very funny. Earlier in the game, I believe it was, who was it? It was Austin Reeves. Yeah, Austin Reeves was clapping in the ref's face. Obviously, that's a tech. But the thing is, LeBron stops in the middle of the play, calls a goaltending, screaming, claps in the ref's face, and nothing is done. LeBron is obviously a different whistle than the rest of the NBA, and of course he deserves that. He's been in the NBA forever. But it's just unbelievable that he would, as a teammate, just literally as a teammate, stop in the middle of the play to not play defense. He would rather complain to the ref to make his ego feel better than get back on defense. Tough look out of LeBron, and I saw it a few times. The Celtics just overpowered him. Absolutely overpowered them in energy more than anything. While the Lakers were complaining, the Celtics were driving down the court. And it was a tough look for LeBron and Luka. with how they were defending how Boston was defending the Lakers last night, they would let him do Luka. He's gonna get his ball, he's gonna get his points, and I really think that's the kind of game plan with Luka. Is just let him get his points. We'll play everyone else 120%. Let Luka get his points. Make him uncomfortable, force up bad shots, and I did see he only went like 7 of 22, or I believe. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, but he did not have the best shooting night for him. Definitely looked off. He even had an air ball floater in the fourth quarter. Just totally out of sync for Luka. Don't see that often. So yeah, really, really fun game. Boston did get that victory. Get up another game on the Lakers this weekend, so that's always nice for our Spurs. Yeah, so really, really exciting game. I got to watch some more interleague play. Back to our Spurs. Let's talk about tonight's game. So big game tonight. Pistons versus Spurs. Definitely another MVP candidate right here in Cade Cunningham. So let's talk about it. Obviously, Cade Cunningham is going to be locked up by, the likes of Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson. It's going to be, a gritty game. And Cade Cunningham, like I was saying with Luka Doncic, has a way of changing a motor, of going from slow to fast, just so quick. He is such a talented player, young player, and absolutely a top 5 player I would want to build my team around in the NBA. He, just killing it out in the East, the number 1 seed in the East. So this is another little interleague matchup, East versus West. The Pistons are rolling. Jaden Ivey, with Jalen Durant. Jalen Durant is just a beast. He is such a beast. Our Spurs would love to have him, absolutely, if we could put him on the post block with Wemby. But obviously, Durant was an all-star, first-time all-star this year, very deserving for them to be an all-star. Really, really exciting team. And, he is the bruiser. They do remind me of those bad boy Pistons from the early 2000s. He just, really bruises the paint, gets every big man uncomfortable, and it just plays that good inside-out game with Cade Cunningham driving to the basket for either a lob or, kick back out to Cade Cunningham in the corner for a 3. They just have an unbelievable offensive scheme going. Their defense is very crisp. So I see a few keys to this game. I think we really do need to get the 3-point shooter going in this game. It's going to be pretty tough down low. Obviously, Wemby's got the size advantage, but Jalen Durant has definitely the strength advantage. So I just want to see how Wemby will approach this game really tonight. Will he play more post? Is he going to go more threes? I told you guys that my biggest thing with Wemby this year is just working on his post game. He needs to just perfect that before he starts hitting those threes. The 3 ball is there. He's good. He's not great. He's good, not great at threes shooting. So let's keep it in the post. Let's, really work Durant. And I really am looking for our 3-point shooters. Champagnie, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Carter Bryant even. Hopefully he can get going tonight. So I really want to see those guys really step up on the threes in the corners while Wemby really tries to post up Durant, make him uncomfortable down low. All right. So that's what I have for tonight. So Spurs versus Pistons tonight. I believe it's on the Peacock tonight for streaming. It's a national game. So we will be definitely watching that game. Really excited to watch that. All right. Some other things I want to talk about. After this weekend, it's obviously a big talk about who is going to be the MVP of the league. So let's run through them. Obviously, the 1 and 2 that we have to question for, the availability reasons of they have to hit the threshold. Shea and Jokic. I believe the clear 1-2 of who is going to win the MVP if they have enough games under their belt. Now the problem, they might not. So who are those other ones? My pick for MVP, if it was not going to be those 2, I have to go with Cade Cunningham with who we're playing against tonight for the Pistons. He has led the Pistons to be the first overall seed for the first time in so long out of the East. This is the reason why the Pistons drafted him, to get to this threshold. He is just playing lights out basketball, and I think he has a really bright future ahead of him. If Shea and Jokic do not hit the threshold, I put Cade Cunningham as my MVP. And my 4th is Jaylen Brown, who is the number 2 seed in the East. I would put him at number 1, but I really believe that whoever wins that East matchup of number 1 ranked seed in the East will win that MVP if it comes down to availability for games. Obviously, I think Shea is the MVP, but I don't know if he'll make the game's threshold. So let's see if Cade Cunningham can get his first MVP. Jaylen Brown obviously has a finals MVP in his bag. Let's see if he could get an MVP. Wemby, you'll be an MVP for 5 years to come, so no worry about this year. All right, well, that's all I have for today for Spurs Latest. Tomorrow, we'll be recapping the Pistons versus the Spurs. It is sure to be a good one. All right, that's all I have. I'm Trip Graham. Thank you again, and go Spurs, go.